Hello class, my name is Brandon Schissler. Today I'll be doing a speech in order to inform you as to why I joined the military. As I do my speech, I'm going to go over 3 key points. 1, I'm going to talk about my father. Secondly, I'm going to talk about a series of unfortunate events. And lastly, I'm going to talk about my mother. Do me a favor, close your eyes, let's roll the clock back a couple years. Imagine that you're 19 years old and you have a family. You have a wife or husband and a 1-year-old son. You got to find a way to take care of them, one way or the other. There's no escaping it. You have to provide for them. Now open your eyes. That little scenario that we went over is not something that I just made up. That was a reality to my father, Scott Schissler, in the year 1993. He had just graduated from high school. He had a wife and a 1-year-old son. He had no real life experience, no job, no college, but he knew that he would have to find a way to make money and to grow up in order to provide for that family. There was no escaping it. So he did the one thing that he knew he had to do. He joined the United States Marine Corps. Now doing this, he hoped to find a way to take care of that wife and son. And that is exactly what he managed to do. They taught him what it took to be a man, what it took to be truly selfless and to take care of the ones that you loved. Now, naturally, that'd be great if that's where the story ended, that we just rode off into the sunset, but a series of unfortunate events did occur. That was back in 1993. He got out in 1997, 4 years later. He figured that he did what he had to do. It was time to move on with his life. It's time to turn the page, go to the next chapter. 2004. Hurricane Charlie comes ripping through Orlando, peels our roof off of the house. Didn't stop there. We had 2 more hurricanes in less than a month just roll right through Orlando. Naturally, that put us straight into debt as housing companies, roofing companies went right down the can, bankrupt. So we were kind of in a hole. We could still manage, but we were in a hole. 2008 comes around. Economy all but collapses. We sink into a very dark, deep recession. Orlando is mostly based on tourism. If you can't pay for food and for rent, you're not trying to see Mickey Mouse over at Disney. You're trying to do what you got to do to survive. Now, we were all hoping that this recession would get better. Well, it didn't. 4 years later, 2012, I graduated high school. My parents and I, between 3 of us, were all working 6 jobs, just trying to make ends meet and take care of that debt, but it wasn't getting any lower. It was at this time that my mother figured out what she had to do. You see, my parents, like many others, they always wanted to put their kids through college, give them whatever they couldn't have as kids themselves. Well, for me, it was too late. Hurricane Charlie saw to that. But it wasn't too late for my sister. So at the age of 39, my mother joined the United States Army as active duty. She decided that she would try to keep up with the young guns of 18, 19 years old, and that she would do it for her family. She succeeded. She found a way to take care and support her family to get them out of that hole and to put my sister through college. Now, naturally, this inspired me greatly. Seeing the 2 most selfless individuals that I've ever had the pleasure of meeting. My father and my mother. So naturally, I followed in their footsteps. I joined the United States Air Force. Now, that is why I joined the military. As I went over this, I talked about my father, about how his courage to take care of his family. At the age of 19, he joined the Marine Corps. I talked about the monetary decline of Orlando that put us back in a hole. And then I talked about my mother, who at the age of 39 joined the United States Army to take care of her family. That is my speech. Hope you enjoyed it.